What did you do last Friday night? Think about it. Because last Friday, me and 12 ONEM members were sat on a yacht off the coast of Skalata, Greece. The Friday before, we were at a prestigious restaurant in Crete. After we finished, some of the members headed back to the villas and some of them headed out to explore the area a little bit more. The Friday before, I was in Porto in a private villa again with other ONEM members, with an indoor pool, outdoor pool, sauna, paddle courts, rooftop bar, you name it. Having conversations that would literally blow your mind and, quite frankly, potentially change the trajectory of your life forever. Think back to a conversation that you had that did change the trajectory of your life forever. Now imagine being able to have those conversations every single week. And this is regardless of whether you're a business owner, whether you have a 9-to-5 job, it doesn't matter. Because there are members inside ONEM that will help you with anything you want to achieve in life. You just weren't in the right rooms to let them. This Friday, you could be. And I'll show you how in just a moment, but first, let me show you this. 18 months ago, I bought this mansion in Granada, Spain. 6 bedrooms, workspace, gym, sauna, pool, everything you could possibly want or need. ONEM members can stay whenever they like. The 9-to-5 guys do weekend breaks and the guys with businesses do weeks at a time frequently. That's besides the point. Anyway, 12 months ago, upon completion of the mansion, I invited 50 plus members to celebrate the launch. These guys flew in from all over the world, predominantly England and mainland Europe, but we have guys from all over the globe. These guys didn't know each other before, now they talk on a daily basis. In fact, just today, one of the members' mothers was diagnosed with cancer, and another member, an American guy, sent flowers to her home in the UK, and they've never met before. This depth of connection is so rare. We have a culture that is better than anything you could ever imagine, and I would do anything to conserve it. We actually reject more people than we accept. This is because what we've built is so rare, we can't risk letting the wrong person in and ruining it. ONEM operates perfectly fine with or without another member. We don't need the money, the entry fee is trivial, it's just simply there as a filter for competence. You're either broken brave or you're already accomplished. Either way, we will give you a level of life setup and success beyond your wildest dreams. Obviously, there's only so much I can show you, as you'd expect, but here's some more about what ONEM actually is. So far, we've done trips in Morocco, France, Bali, Spain, Portugal, Greece, London. The list goes on. Private yachts, private villas, private chefs, the new VIP seats at Barcelona Stadium. This is all included in the membership. You just cover transport and food, aside from the dedicated meal events, of course. If you live in Europe, flights are pocket change. If you don't live in Europe, you just use Granada House as a base between events to make travel easy. Again, everything you need is included in the membership. This is unlike every other members club that charges you $2,000 for the yacht, $3,000 for the villa, $500 for the meal, and so on. Actually consider how much the average weekend at ONEM would cost you solo. Genuinely add it up. Think about it. To live the average Tuesday at ONEM solo would cost more than a year's membership for you. Because when was the last time you paid nothing to spend the whole day on a yacht? Or paid nothing to sit in VIP seats to watch a Champions League match? Or paid nothing to live in a multi-million-dollar villa? Or paid nothing to have a Michelin star level chef cook food for you? Or paid nothing for access to a mansion in Spain? Now, how much would that cost you normally? Thousands every time at a minimum, and you'd be experiencing it alone. But the properties and the trips, they're actually only one aspect of ONEM. Do you know where the real value is? Think for a moment. It's who you're in the rooms with. Right now, as you're watching this, there is a conversation inside that could change your life forever. It could be the one piece of information that you are missing. Do you know what they're discussing? Well, to be fair, neither do I, because I'm sat here talking to you now. But I do know what was discussed yesterday. Somebody asked about tax optimization, and within an hour, 3 different people from 3 different countries gave him solutions that most high-level accountants don't even know about. Do you have access to this? Can you solve problems like setting up a flat 10% tax in Bulgaria without ever having to go to Bulgaria? Without having to even spend a penny to get it set up? Do you even know that these things exist? Because someone inside does. And that's just one random example from a random Tuesday inside. If you need an introduction to someone specific, it's handled. If you need advice on scaling your business, it's handled. If you need to know where to live for your specific situation, it's handled. We have members all over the globe in all industries. We have a guy for everything. Not just business problems. We have plenty of members who are perfectly happy with their 9-to-5s. Because success is individually defined, and you are given the choice on how you want your life to look like inside. But you won't know how you want your life to look until you've spent a few months inside. Because after a few months you would have been in multiple baller villas all around the world. You would have been on yachts, you would have been at the finest restaurants. You would have met men with life setups that you didn't even know were possible before. Only when you've been exposed to these realities can you then truly know what you want from life, untainted by your feed, your family, your friends. You may think you know, but until you've experienced it, you don't. I see it all the time. Members join making very good money from their 9-to-5s, perfectly content, but then after joining, they quickly realize they want more. So they put a message in the chat, and an already successful business person trains them, introduces them to the correct people, gets them hired as a salesman or a setter, and immediately gives them the freedom to travel the world. But look, success is individually defined, but you need life experience to define it. You can't say what you want until you've experienced it. That experience won't be found on a YouTube video or a vision board. You need to live it. But once you do have the clarity on what your definition of success looks like, members will move mountains to make sure you get there, regardless of what your version of success is. All versions are equally valid and all versions are equally respected. And ONEM will be equally useful in helping you achieve your unique success goals. We don't need men with money. That's not a metric that we qualify because it's just too easily fixed. What we need is men who understand what I am saying. You choose your fate, and you are the only thing stopping you from living a life of freedom. Do you understand? See, when you're surrounded by men that operate at this level, you don't just learn from them, you absorb the best parts of them. For example, the charisma of a salesman, the genius of a chess grandmaster, the confidence of a D1 athlete, the allure of a magician, the discipline of a fighter, the fashion of a tailor. This is the fastest way to get ahead in all domains of life. Now, if your circle doesn't provide you with all of this, then you've already lost. You're basically alone, and alone you only have one pair of eyes. Your expertise in general field of consciousness is narrow and limited. But in a team, you have hundreds of eyes. Eyes in every industry, eyes in every asset class, eyes in every country. And you can only win by having eyes everywhere. Everybody knows that with a competent team in all areas of life, that victory is a foregone conclusion. But ask yourself, and be completely honest, how many areas are you not a straight 10 in due to your lack of network? Ask yourself, how well do I dress? Because When everyone around you dresses impeccably, you naturally start dressing impeccably. Ask yourself, how do I think about money? Do I know what money is and how it works? Because when you hear how men actively making millions think about money, your thinking changes irreversibly. Again, ask yourself, do I know how to operate in high society? Because when you go to Michelin star restaurants and private clubs with guys that go regularly, you learn very, very quickly. You become accustomed to it. It becomes your new comfortable normality. I've watched this happen countless times in real time. Actually, one member who joined, I'll admit his name for obvious privacy reasons. At just 21 years old, flat broke, his last money, working at a supermarket at the time. And now, he makes over £10,000 profit per month consistently at just 22 years old. He travels monthly, and not just with Onem. I actually think he's in Dubai at the moment. He speaks multiple languages now. He transformed his body completely, and he dates women now that, quite frankly, last year would have ignored him. But realistically, do you honestly think that any of this would have happened if he had stayed in that small little town working at that supermarket still? Because with the little money that he had earned, he only really had 4 options. Let's say, for example's sake, he had 10k available. Let's say option 1, he puts 10k into an index fund, it returns 10% per year, 1k per year, it's just not going to change his life. Option 2, let's say he puts that money into the bank. You're effectively just hoarding ice cubes in a sauna. With rapid inflation eating away at your money, pointless. Option 3, let's say he throws it into some cryptocurrency. Because he doesn't have the advisors around him like he has now, he loses it all. But let's say for argument's sake it doubles and he makes another 10k. Nothing changes, his life is still going to be the same. Now the final option, the smartest option, is to invest in Onem, and obviously that's what he did. And now he and his life are unrecognizable. Understand, this ties back into the energy absorption lessons that I gave you earlier. If you truly understood the gravity of that secret alone, you'd already be inside. But money is trivial, right? Money is an easy fix, clearly, when you know what we know. But it's not all about the high-end life setup and balling out of control. That's just one flashy side of Onem. But I'm going to share something very personal with you right now. 10 years ago, my father was diagnosed with cancer. And on his deathbed, he told me something that I will never forget. He said, "Do not wait to travel the world." You see, he lived in the UK his entire life and waited until he was 50 to move to Barcelona. It was the happiest he had ever been. He was a completely different man, unrecognizable even. But he had one regret, that he couldn't go back and do it sooner. And it made me realize that I'm not going to be young forever. And neither are you. And I won't live forever either. I could die tomorrow, who knows? So I'm not going to wait to live my life. Any switched on individual knows that the media programs us indefinitely to chase the carrot on the stick or to continue running on that hamster wheel. But the truth is this, you only have a 0.5% chance of becoming a self-made millionaire. Meaning out of a room of 200 people, only one is going to make it. And furthermore, do you know what's interesting? The average age that someone becomes a self-made millionaire is 45. Now, do you know why nobody tells you this? Because it doesn't sell courses. But your chances are seriously fucking slim. What's interesting is, the reason you want to become a millionaire is to ultimately live like an Onem member. The 0.5% chance you have of living the average Tuesday inside Onem at 45 alone is really what these course sellers are selling you. So don't make the same mistake, live it now. So let me ask you something. Would you rather a 1 in 200 chance of living the lifestyle that Onem gives you alone at 45, or be guaranteed access to the millionaire lifestyle today. And I say today because you could be in Granada tonight if you really wanted to be. Even if you never become a millionaire, you would have lived like you had. Do you see the difference? Now, I'm going to share a lesson with you, another secret of the universe, if you would. Living the way that we live dramatically increases your chances of becoming a millionaire, and I'll explain why. But first, not everyone's going to understand this. We only want people who do understand it, so it's perfectly fine. But living like a millionaire is manifestation on steroids. When you sit at home and you look at Pinterest boards and YouTube vlogs of the life that you want, what are you actually doing? You're training your brain to live vicariously through others. You're creating separation between you and your goals. It's just one more trap to keep you where you are, to satiate you just enough to keep you stagnant and compliant. Manifesting is very real. I'm a millionaire surrounded by millionaires. We all know this and agree on this. And if you're serious about manifesting it, you need to live it for real. And Onem will give you the life setup immediately to live like a millionaire instantly, assuming if your application is accepted. And I say if your application is accepted because we actually reject more people than we accept. Now, every member must bring something to the table. And look, it's not about money. You could be making $3,000 per month from a 9-to-5 job or $30,000 per month from a business. The difference is trivial. We can get you to where you want to be very easily. But what matters is, what can you do for us? What do you have that we don't? We don't want leeches. Think for a moment. Even if it's raw bravery and energy to make something of yourself, that's of value to us. We can make basically anything happen, but certain things just cannot be manufactured. Like the fire to move forwards. We can't manufacture that. You must have the spark. Because through seeing the lives that other members are actively living, we can kindle that spark into a flame. And through proximity, you can have the life that you want to achieve. You just need to be amongst the right people in the right environments. You see, you can read 100 books on how to ski, but you'll never improve until you're actually on the slopes, until you have a coach perfecting your form. Onem doesn't just give you one coach, it gives you hundreds of coaches, experts in all areas of life that matter. You see, books just aren't enough anymore. The information is too accessible, it's commoditized, it's generalized, it's not specific to your situation. Somebody reading books will get crushed by somebody with hundreds of coaches. Let me ask you something, who would you bet on? The guy that studied Mike Tyson or the guy that was trained by him? Because the second option is who you're up against if you stay outside of Onem. And if you somehow do have the knowledge but don't implement, you're still going to get crushed by the men of Onem. Because you need an abundance of energy to implement, to actually get the work done. This is the other side of manifestation, the secret to infinite energy, being in the highest class environments with the highest class people. When you're in certain rooms, you can't be the only guy not training today. You can't be the only guy not moving forwards. The environment creates a pressure cooker of positive peer pressure that just forces you to perform. This is one of the things you'll come to learn inside. Like I said earlier, if you already understood these secrets and the depth of what I'm teaching you, you'd already be inside. It's not about money. Everyone makes their money back. We need men who understand what I'm saying. Most men don't possess the intellect to truly get what I'm saying here. It's funny, we've raised the entry fee 3 times in 12 months because in real time, we're watching the lives that members are creating, and we will continue to raise it. When Barcelona officially launches, prices will rise again, irreversibly. And when you join, you lock in your current price, and it continues to rise for everyone else. So, message an agent of Onem now. Trying to become successful without joining is like trying to get abs before going to the gym. Whatever you're trying to achieve in life, Onem will accelerate it faster than you could ever imagine. So soon, you can sit at the table with us. Talk to an agent now. We'll ask you some questions, see if you're a good fit. If you are a good fit, we'll send an application that will be reviewed by me and the team, a quick background check, and if you are accepted, you could join in the morning and be sat by the pool in Granada that same night. Everyone will attempt to join us over a long enough time frame. It's no longer about if you're going to try and join us, it's about when. Because Onem will only get higher in value from this point onwards. Think of everything that we've done already, and that's just a year. With that being said, the entry fee to join us will only rise. The standards of the application will only rise, meaning right now is the best possible chance you have of getting your application accepted. So message an agent now, and whether you get accepted or not, the conversation alone will likely change your life forever.